Today, we're going to give you some dirt cheap buys to go after in your dynasty leagues before their value rises. So, Dak, who's the first buy?
The first buy is going to be Christian Watson. Right now in keep trade cut, he's wide receiver 40. This is a guy that you can target in your leagues that maybe some managers have given up on, and he will help you win your leagues. We all know that he's had a lot of injury concerns in the past couple of years. He's dealt with hamstrings especially. But this offseason, he went to see a specialist who specializes in hamstrings. They figured out that one of his hamstrings was 20% more muscle mass than the other one, and they figured that was the root cause of all his hamstring injuries. They've got that number down to 6%. So we think this season will be the cleanest bill of health that we've seen from Christian Watson. And when Christian Watson is on the football field, he's an electric football player. We've seen that he has been Jordan Love's number one and Aaron Rodgers' number one when he was still the quarterback in Green Bay. We think he's a better talent than a guy like a Jaden Reed or a Romeo Doubs or Dontavion Wicks. We think he's better than all of those guys. He had the most draft capital invested into him by Green Bay, more than Jaden Reed. Up until now, we have not seen Christian Watson start a year healthy, getting off into the right swing of things. We saw his rookie season, he had injuries in training camp, and it took him until the second half of the year to truly break out. Once he did break out, he had 4 straight weeks of being a wide receiver one. And last year, we also saw he wasn't healthy to start the year, and it took him a few weeks to get ramped up. He had 2 straight weeks of once again being a wide receiver one in fantasy before getting hurt. This season, he should be going into the season fully healthy. He's got all of training camp to ramp up. This should be his healthiest season yet, and we think the results are going to show. When he's on the field and truly healthy and they're using him, he performs like a wide receiver one. He's got over the top speed that we've seen utilized with both Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers. He's got all the talent. He just needs to stay healthy, and we think this is the year that he finally stays healthy. He comes out of that crowd of wide receiver twos that they have in Green Bay, and he establishes himself as a top 20, 24 wide receiver in fantasy. We think that is definitely possible for him. It's in the range of outcomes. He just needs to stay healthy.
And that's why we're buying Christian Watson. We're looking for the upside that these players have for the cheap costs that they have right now. And Christian Watson is someone that sticks out like a sore thumb because of how those other wide receivers are in Green Bay. With the good quarterback production that Jordan Love's going to provide, he could stand out as the wide receiver one there and exponentially increase his dynasty value. So, Dak, real quick, what are we buying him for?
We're buying him for mid-second. We think if you send a mid-second in next year's draft, that league manager will probably take him. If you can even send a late second because your manager's just out on Watson, they're done with the hamstrings and all of that, we would do that instantly. But we think that's a good price for Christian Watson.
All right, so our next player is going to be Aaron Jones, who's currently running back 34 on Keep Trade Cut. Aaron Jones just got signed by the Minnesota Vikings, which is a very exciting offense to be in. Point blank period, Aaron Jones is going to give you good upside for like 1 year. But that's all we're really looking at when we're looking at our running backs, right? Running backs, their position so volatile, so many ups and downs that we just want 1 to 2 years of good production. And Aaron Jones has shown for many years now that he's going to give you RB1 production. He's going into a pretty good system. They're going to throw the ball a ton. There's not really any other competition to back it besides Ty Chandler. So we're looking at Aaron Jones being once again a 65% split running back, which is fantastic for fantasy production. And just like Christian Watson, what he is providing for you for dirt cheap is just immense upside. I could easily see Aaron Jones being RB1 this year. Would you be surprised at all if Aaron Jones is RB1 this year? Not at all. He's shown for so many years that he can do it. He's explosive. He's great out of the backfield. He's just good at everything, and he's being discounted because of his age. We're going to say, I don't care about his age. I want him for 1 year. If you're a contender, go buy him. Because he's a running back, his value is so suppressed. I think you can maybe get Aaron Jones for like 2/3 in your league. I think managers would be happy to get that in terms of return for him. Especially if you're looking at someone in your league that maybe they're not really a contender, maybe they're a fraud, or even they're maybe like trying to rebuild and like he's one of their last pieces to get rid of. Go send a third for him. Maybe send away one of your roster clogger wide receivers, your Romeo Dubes, your Jameson Williams, someone who's never going to see the light of day on your starting roster. Send away Marvin Mims. He's terrible. Go get actual fantasy points. Go get Aaron Jones.
Yeah, we see more and more that all NFL offenses are moving away from a bell cow running back and more of these running back by committees. And Minnesota is one of those places where Aaron Jones is the bell cow. Like Dalton said, they only got Ty Chandler and like Kenny Nwangu there. That's not any competition. And we saw in the playoffs just last season that Aaron Jones still has it as a running back. He has such a solid floor just because he is the bell cow, and all it takes is decent quarterback play out of one of J.J. McCarthy or Sam Donald, and you're looking at touchdown upside from Aaron Jones, what makes him an even better running back to buy. So yeah, definitely buying him.
Absolutely. All right, Dak. Who's our next buy?
Our next buy, this is going to be at the quarterback position. If you're in that super flex league, we're buying Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers coming off the Achilles injury after moving over to the New York Jets last offseason. A lot of people, once that Achilles injury happened, just left him for dead. They were getting him off their roster for literally anything they could get. Fourths, thirds, anything. They just wanted him off. but he's still the quarterback there, at least for this season, maybe even next year. And we think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a bounce back year. He still, we think, has plenty of talent, and he's going to be behind a very good offense. They've invested so much in that offensive line to keep him upright and healthy this season. They have an alpha wide receiver in Garrett Wilson. They brought in Mike Williams, drafted Malachi Corley, have Brees Hall, who could lead the league in catches as a running back. They have so many weapons around Aaron Rodgers, and we think that this year he performs as a top 15, top 16 quarterback for fantasy at least. When we saw him last in Green Bay, he was quarterback 13, so a fringe QB1, and we think he can get back to that. We still think he's got the talent. He was never a mobile quarterback, so we don't think that Achilles injury is going to really impact him throwing the ball downfield. And like I said, he's got so much talent and weapons around him. We think he can produce.
Yeah, and like once again, going back to the upside thing, you said could be a top 16, top 15. I think he's almost guaranteed to be that if he stays healthy. I think the upside to be like a top 8 quarterback this year. I think
Really
they
good.
could. I think Jets offense could be really, really good, top 5 offense. And if that is the case, I think Aaron Rodgers will be a top 10 player at the quarterback position this next year. So go get Aaron Rodgers, super duper cheap. What are you paying for Aaron Rodgers right now?
Again, I think especially last season, you're getting him for thirds or fourths. Now you might have to send like a late second for Aaron Rodgers, but that's still more than anything else that you're going to do with that pick, especially if you're a contender and you're trying to win this year. What is that 2026 second or 2025 late second? What is that pick doing for you? You get Aaron Rodgers on your team and he's producing for you right now.
Especially if you like have a lack at quarterback. He's that perfect 1-2 year gap player that's still going to produce at a high level while not being too expensive. So yeah, I'd go buy Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
So our last player, we're looking at only tight end premium leagues. We're looking at Dallas Goedert of the Philadelphia Eagles. Dallas Goedert has been a very good player in the league, but just has not really produced fantasy points ever in his career. It's a crowded offense, right? They got AJ Brown, they got Devontae Smith, so they got Saquon Barkley now. So Dallas Goedert is really like the fourth option. However, that's not stopping us from buying him in tight end premium leagues because you only have to catch a couple balls in a game to be a relevant fantasy option. Dallas Goedert is going to get a couple catches every week, and he's going to secure that 10 to 12 points, which you can get for dirt cheap right now because Dallas Goedert's value is just in the tank. He's tight end 18 right now in keep trade cut. And if you can look at the names around him, it is rough. Dallas Goedert is miles ahead in terms of talent, better than all those guys. So we really believe that he is a great buy. And he's not even that old. He's like, what, 29-ish? Like, he's got plenty of years left in the tank. I would trade away 2/3 for Dallas Goedert. I would be okay sending a late second, maybe get a little something back, maybe like get another third back on top of that. And once again, any of those roster clogger wide receivers that we love to shit on, we're talking our Jamison Williams, we're talking our Jahan Dotsons, we're talking Romeo Dubes. Send them away. Go get someone who's actually going to score points like Dallas Goedert, who has upside to be a 13 point per game player in a tight end premium league. Whereas Romeo Dubes is not going to do that. Jamison Williams might catch 13 balls all of next year. So go make these moves. Go trade for these players. Anything else you want to say?
You covered it.
All right. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.